Okay, and today's lesson is on composite functions. Now, the idea here is we're going to look at doing two different operations together. Best ways to have a go is to look at the one that I've got here. If f of x is x minus 3, if my output is x minus 3, and g of x is 4 times x, what happens if I do f of g of 2? The idea is if 2 is my input, now because it's f of g of 2, the idea is BODMAS applies here, and even though the f comes at the start, because the g is next to it, it means I've got to do the g of 2 and then take the output and do the f. So the idea is, if I look at this here, if I do the g of 2 first, now g of x is 4 times x, and if 2 is my input, 4 times 2 is 8. So the g of 2 gives me 8. 8 now becomes my input, so the f of 8, I put 8 into my value here, and the idea is if I've got x minus 3, where x is 8, 8 minus 3 is 5. Okay. There are three things that I now want you to do using the same pair of functions. If f of g of 2 give me an answer of 5, will g of f of 2 give me the same answer? Also, I want you to do f of 3, which means I want you to put 3 in, do that, get your answer, and then do that again. G of minus 4 means I want you to put minus 4 in here, and then do the same again. Can you press the pause button and have a go? Okay, 3, 2, 1. The idea is, if I do f of 2, 2 minus 3 gives me minus 1. That becomes my input to my next one. So the g of minus 1 will be 4 times minus 1, which is minus 4. So f of g of 2 was 5, g of f of 2 was minus 4. So the order is important. Always do the function next to the 2 first. The third one, I take 3 in, I subtract 3, I get the answer of 0, and 4 times 0 gives me 0. So f of g of 3 should be 0. G of minus 4, I put in minus 4, times it by 4, get minus 16. I put minus 16 in, times it by 4, and g of minus 4 gives me minus 64. Okay, let's up the scale a little bit here. This time round, if f of x is 2x plus 1 and g of x is x squared, what I'd like you to do is, can you do f of g of minus 2, g of f of minus 2, and see what the outcomes are? And I've written this in a slightly different fashion. F squared 3 is the same as doing f of 3. So I do the f function twice. G squared of 4 means I do the g function twice. Okay. Can you press pause and see if we can get the answers? And in 3, 2, 1. Okay, this time round, what I put in minus 2 and do g, minus 2 squared becomes plus 4. So I put 4 into f of x, so that the f of 4 is 2 times 4 plus 1 gives me 9. Here, if I put in minus 2, f of minus 2 is 2 times minus 2 is minus 4 plus 1, which gives me minus 3. If I put minus 3 in, the function of minus 3 squared also gives me 9. Now this is unusual. It can happen, rarely happens, but as you see from up here, it doesn't always happen. So the idea is the order of what you do is important. F squared 3, if I put that in first time round, I see I get 7, and then do it again, I get 15. Here, nice and simple, if I put 4 in, and as I say, the function of g, 4 squared is 16, do it again, 16 squared gives me 256. Okay, you should now be able to go and have a go at question 8 to 12 on the worksheet. Enjoy.